Now presenting
the RKULTRA podcast,
Expanding Your Minds.
whether you want it or not.
Welcome to RKULTRA, and it's our favorite month of the year. That's right, it's the month of October, and Halloween's coming up. So every episode this month is going to have some sort of Halloween theme to it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about John Carpenter's 1978 classic, Halloween. And we're going to be talking about the movie franchise that follows. Today, we have a very special guest for you guys. It was very hard to do this. I cannot stress how hard it was to get this person. We had to summon a demon from hell for this episode. To do that, we had to go to a crossroads and meet the devil. We challenged him to a fiddle contest, which we lost.
We don't know how to play the fiddle.
Not at all. And then we had to put a circle of salt with a pentagram in it and make a sacrifice. And I'm not going to tell you what we sacrificed. But introducing Balthazar, Specter of the Deep. Welcome, Balthazar. How you doing today?
We're happy you're here, Balthazar.
I don't think he talks.
Are you sure?
Shit, he doesn't even have a mouth.
God damn it. This took us 44 weeks to do.
And our mortal souls. Anyway, we're going to be talking about John Carpenter's classic Halloween. It premiered in 1978, and it was originally supposed to be called The Babysitter Murders.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, what a great killer, right?
That immortal man.
You know, like, originally, he didn't have that white famous mask he had. They wanted to use a clown mask, like a scary clown mask they found at just a Halloween store. But they decided not to go with that. Instead, they took a William Shatner mask, you know, the star of Star Trek, and they painted it white and widened the eyes and added some hair.
One of the things I like about the Halloween movies is that they're master suspense horrors, you know, with the slasher element.
Yeah, it really was ahead of its time. It was one of the first slashers of the decade. Everything else that followed it was basically a copy of that, especially like Friday the 13th and a lot of other slasher movies. It was very low budget. It was shot in California, even though it took place in Haddonfield, Louisiana. Or Illinois, I'm sorry. Haddonfield, Illinois. They actually had to paint leaves fall colors and drop them all over the streets, like, you know, as props. And then they had to pick them up at the end of every scene. And, you know, you can tell it's in California because there's palm trees everywhere. It's a really great movie.
What do you think, Balthazar? What is your opinion of the Halloween movies?
Do you prefer special effects or CGI? Yeah, I feel the same. You know, like, usually, like, the special effect prop gags are a little bit better. The CGI kind of cheapens it. Anyways, Halloween went on to have a lot of sequels. RJ, what's your favorite sequel to Halloween?
Probably Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch? Really?
Yeah. There's something about that movie. It doesn't really have Michael Myers featured as a killer in it. I'm not going to give away too many details, but basically there's a toy store and they give away masks and they're going to do something evil with those masks, and it involves killing a lot of people.
Yeah, it's an extremely weird movie, and it bombed at the box office, mostly because people were expecting to see Michael Myers. You know, the first two had Michael in it. John Carpenter originally didn't want to make a sequel to it. He wanted to make it an anthology, so it would be a different story every time. They wouldn't let him do that for the second one, but by the third one, they let him do whatever he wanted, and then after that, you know.
I do have to say, though, Halloween 2 is the best Michael Myers movie, in my opinion. As far as killing is concerned, it just goes right into it, right into the action.
That's my personal favorite. That has a huge body count in it. They make him kind of more like Jason in that one. It's less suspense and more slaughter. Balthazar, what do you like in a horror movie? More suspense or like just it's all-out slaughter? I see.
Words of wisdom.
Indeed. I'm glad we did this, actually.
You're right. There's something about you, Balthazar.
So as the sequels go on, a lot of the characters come back, like Dr. Loomis. He's the doctor that fights Michael Myers.
On his ever quest to kill he is not a man.
He is evil. Played by the late, great Donald Pleasance. He was one hell of an actor. He was in a lot of classic horror movies. Of course, as any franchise goes, as it starts to go on, the later ones aren't that great. No one remembers Part 6. Halloween Resurrection, the final one in that series, was the one with Busta Rhymes in it. You remember that one? It was they were doing a fake reality show, and Michael Myers just kind of shows up and kills everyone.
My favorite.
Oh, good. Yeah, what's your favorite? The last one?
Oh, he said something.
Wow.
He externalized some noise.
Huh.
How did he do that?
Weird. Yeah, I don't see a mouth.
Huh. What about Halloween, what was it? H2O.
H2O. See, I kind of like that one. That's when they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back. And she had faked her own death and whatnot, and now worked at a school. It was a very slow-moving movie, but it was very good at the end.
That one had LL Cool J in it, right?
No, that's the. Oh yes, you're right. That is the LL Cool J movie.
Yeah.
And he survives right through that movie, just like he did through Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can move on to the Rob Zombie remakes if you want. I bet they showed those in hell, right? Of course, yeah. Those were not that great. So, do you remember those?
No.
No, not really.
Not at all.
Yeah, they're not really that memorable to my opinion. They gave Michael Myers a backstory in that one. They explained his negative childhood. They gave him a reason to be a killer.
Was this the one where he was in the mental hospital and they showed him from like a child all the way up until he broke out? Okay, yes, I remember these.
Yeah, and I didn't like that personally because the original Halloween, there was no backstory. There was no reason for what he was doing. It was part of the reason why it was scary to people at the time, you know? But Rob Zombie's version gave him a reason to go around killing people. I don't know. I think it just kind of ruined the franchise for me.
Yeah. Once you explain how the evil is done, like down to the finer bits, it really just loses its magic. Like you have to have some sort of wonderment involved.
Yeah, some sort of mystique.
Yeah.
You know, like you, Balthazar. I mean, you're mysterious, right?
I like your chest hair.
Yeah. That surely came from hell. And I guess we can also talk about the newest trilogy that just came out. I actually didn't even see the last two movies. I couldn't. I had too much Michael Myers fatigue, and I didn't like the way they changed the story in that.
I completely agree. It wasn't firing on all cylinders.
No. What they did was they retconned the second movie, and in the second movie of the original series, you find out that Jamie Lee Curtis's character is Michael Myers' sister. And that Michael Myers is basically just killing off his living family members, or at least trying to. And they took that away in the new movies, so now Michael Myers is not his sister. And it's just some random killer that is again after them. I don't know, I just didn't like the plot change. I thought the original movie was much better.
Oh, yeah, you can't beat that. The classic, 70s, 80s horror. Nothing really beats that, in my opinion, the slasher category.
The slasher category. We're probably going to have to talk about way more slasher movies this month. Balthazar, do you have a favorite slasher movie, like serial killer? Okay, it's probably just yourself. RJ, how are we going to get rid of this guy?
Buddy, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems friendly.
Yeah, I don't know. We could keep him around, maybe use him as a coffee boy. Anyway, I'm going to go get a spell book. Thank you for coming, Balthazar. You can go back to wherever you came from now if you wish.
Great.
Okay. All right. If you know how to get rid of this demon, please leave it in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at RKUltraCast.
Or find us on www.rkultra.com.
So follow us because we'll be following you.